So, finding your purpose is a huge thing for so many. It hit me really hard in my 20s and early 30s. Not to say that it's not important now that I'm in my 40s, it just takes a different slant now. And I think that's probably because of some of the things I've learned along the way. So many of us ask ourselves over and over again, what is my purpose? Why am I here? I know I should be doing something other than what I'm doing right now. It used to drive me absolutely crazy. I never felt like I was amounting to anything, or anything meaningful anyway. And I never felt like I was whole. I was always missing part of me, so to speak. For me, it's like we've had this program installed in us to find this perfect purpose, like from the second we're put on this earth. And this expectation of when we find it, there'll be like a tic tac parade, there'll be balloons, a party, champagne, like that, massive aha moment, and then life will be great. Life can get started, and off I go. If you are going through that at the moment, or you have run that same program, you'll know also that it's really hard to turn off once it starts. And that in itself causes so much distraction from actually being present in your life and what you're doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So there's this spectrum that we walk when it comes to finding our purpose. And we can be from one end completely ignorant to it, totally disengaged. We can't look outside of ourselves, and essentially we just run on autopilot. To the other end, where everything, all we're worried about, or we're thinking about, or we're dreaming about is how we should or could be doing something, this untouchable something that we don't know what it is, but we know we should be doing it. Both extremes are really unhealthy places to reside into. I'm testament to that, because we can become very self-centered at each end for obviously opposite reasons, but the focus is totally on the self and not sort of our role in the world. So for me, the golden ticket off this train is when you come to a place of acceptance that there is not one right or one only way to live your purpose in this life. And acknowledging that your purpose can mold and grow and shift and maneuver along the way, and there's no failing in that. You don't need to feel like you didn't achieve, you didn't get there, it wasn't early enough, it wasn't long enough, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. And I think that's a huge key to this, is that every little thing that we achieve in life, everything we undergo, everything we experience, all goes toward finding and living that purpose. It highlights the parts that we don't like so much and the parts we do like so much, and that therefore narrows down what it is that is going to bring us true joy, and really fulfill our life on this planet. So for those that are struggling to find their purpose at the moment, these are probably my top 3 lessons that I've learned along my journey so far, and hopefully they'll help you. One is stop focusing into the distant future and the end game and how it's going to look, and just look at how the everyday little choices and decisions that we make along the way just get you that little bit closer to self-fulfillment and feeling like you're alive and that you're excited to be here. By doing that, you'll grow into your purpose when you start making those decisions that make you feel happy and inspired. So each time you make a decision from that point of view and from your heart, essentially, you'll reveal a little bit more of your truer self to yourself, and that sort of in its own way opens up doors that you can walk through, and as your purpose therefore presents itself to you. Number 2 would be, you cannot get your purpose given to you or told to you by someone else, regardless of how much you want that. It's really something that you have to feel and know for yourself. You are the only person that truly knows you. And that is no matter how many psychics or coaches or mentors or friends or family members that want to give you advice and direction. It's only that advice and that guidance, it's only true in that moment, and it's based off the resonance that you are as a being at that point in time. But as free will beings, your energy can shift instantaneously based on your own creative power, your imagination, your life experiences, and therefore so can the way your purpose shows up in your own life, and what you find rewarding and satisfying. That's not always that can shift as your resonance changes. So, if what you're told from an outer source feels right, that's great, go for it. But don't force yourself down tracks or push against feelings that just don't feel 100% in your heart just because someone with a greater knowledge or that you handed your power over to told you that's the way it should be or that's where you should go. You have to really remember you own your person, you own your purpose, no one else does. 3 would be don't limit your purpose by putting it in a box of a career or a role, be that a parent, for instance. In my opinion, your purpose is more of a feeling or a set of values that you can emit across your life, and it doesn't have to be, one tangible achievement. So I think we get a bit fixated on that, and I think for a soul point of view, we need to be a bit more flexible in how that purpose can show up and be achieved, and that we recognise it in some of the smallest forms. So I feel like my purpose is to help others advance in their thinking and in their being and to bring joy. And, sometimes that shows up in something as simple as having a conversation with a friend or a stranger, that I meet down the street. And other times that could be, for me, I do some face painting occasionally for kids at local markets and things like that. That brings joy. And then obviously it can show up in my working life, in what I'm doing here. But I think we can become trapped in this, it's got to be a big thing, and it's such a, it's the focus and the most important thing in our life. It has to have that legacy that we leave on the planet, rather than all the little things and the little ways that we potentially help others, or that we don't see our purpose showing up on an everyday basis. So I think when it comes to purpose, just don't get bogged down in feeling like you haven't achieved anything if you haven't the business to show for it, or the accolade over there, or this achievement here, and look at all the little wonderful ways that it's moved through your life. That has made it more fulfilling and more valuable for yourself, but for others, and in whatever that purpose might look like. Be careful also not to reside in failure and feeling like you haven't fulfilled it, because we can then trap ourselves in not actually making any moves forward. So just because you don't have the whole picture doesn't mean you're not living your purpose. Every little step, every little creation that we make takes us there. So experience the joy in watching it unfold. Okay, that's it for today.